This is the last map I need to run to reach level 100. I'm missing 1 million XP. I'm just shy of 1 million XP, like 900,000-ish, which should not take too long to get. Throw the strategy I'm currently using in the description. I normally do not use what I'm using right now, but since it's the last map and the end of the league is clearly ending, I'm running this wonderful beach here. This is not anything overly crazy that I can't deal with, and it has good quantity, rarity, pack size. So running Abyss, I have a Winged Divination, Winged Abyss, Gilded Cartography, and Gilded Reliquary. This is just what I had seen around. Normally this is not what I run. I'm running a Rusted Divination, a Polished Abyss for the additional XP, a Rusted Cartography, and a Rusted Reliquary. I've did mostly Gilded Abyss because I just had them sitting around and they are cheap. Not that it matters. But yeah, that's why I've been running most of this. And then my Sextants, pack size is really good for this. Additional Abyss, these two are really good. I should be running, instead of this one right here, I should actually be running altars, but I don't have any right now, so it is what it is. I'm not going out and buying some at this point in time, but here we go, last map. I've kept all the loot from running all 125 of these maps. I'll show that afterwards. I'm not doing anything special. Oh, that's cool. I'm not really doing anything special. I'm just literally going through the map. And that right there is the reason you generally want, or at least I generally wanted, shrines on the map, because it is a huge benefit in terms of XP generation and movement speed, loot generation, in clear time. Nice. There we go, level 100. It didn't take too much from this one, and this Abyss is not active currently, so... Now I don't need to be cautious anymore, I can take whatever I feel like, so... Let's just say. Yeah, we'll do that. This is my first ever level 100 character, which it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's towards the end of the league, not the beginning or the middle, but that's okay. There are a minimum of 4 abysses, potentially 5 on this map. That was abyss number... Oh. That was 1 and 2, looking for... You know what, I think I'm going to go to the boss. That way those stop spawning. Okay. I'm not gonna... Wow. I have a point to unallocate here in a minute, so that's what it's gonna be for now. Oh, nice. Additional rarity. Or the rarity shrine. This strategy for abysses that I've been running, I've actually relatively enjoyed running this. I don't know how profitable it was. I did not lose money on it though. Okay. There's a solid drop. There's a lot of scarabs. Okay. Is that I definitely did not lose money on this strategy. I have no idea what I earned though, because a lot of it's dependent on, looking at the items I pick up, and I have not really looked at anything. So that is what I'm going to be doing afterwards, or after I finish this map. There are indeed 5 abysses on this map. Nice. I found so many maps already on this. That gilded cartography scarab is really being impactful. Throughout this leveling process, this took me, as I say, I don't think I have enough. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do like this. Let's see if I fit everything else from the map. I don't even know if I have enough room for everything. I know I have 1 abyss left, so we're gonna finish the last abyss off. It's a double map, or double maps. There we go, last stage Inspire. Oh, nice. I have no idea what they are. I haven't looked at any of them. Before I go over the loot here, I want to briefly go into the atlas that I've used and what I think might be a bit different or potentially more efficient. I was suggested to try intelligence gathering. I did so. This is rather effective, actually. I just spec'd off of it because while leveling, I have access to Basso and as a result, I didn't feel like dying, so I just took it off and then added this on. It is each of these abysses grants between 1 to 1.5, or sorry, each of the maps that I was running grants between 1 to 1.5% XP, depending on how many abysses are in the map. I think 3 is roughly 1.2, and then 4 is roughly 1.5% XP. And then that also depends on the quantity, the pack size of the map. So this grants the same amount. This grants 1.5% XP for every safe house ran. So every 10 maps, you get a safe house. Which means over the course of, doing 80 maps, that is 10 safe houses. So that's another 10% XP. So yeah, that's definitely worth doing. It cuts down the maps that you have to run by about 8 to 10. I did try Searing Exarch, but when I was doing Searing Exarch, which I don't know, there wasn't too much of a difference. I sometimes prefer Exarch if I'm just looking for bubblegum currency, but I switched back to Eater of Worlds because I was using intelligence gathering and the points just didn't make sense. You could potentially remove all of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points here. And you could probably put them in, what is it? And is it Beyond? So you're already at the portal. That would give you access to that. More bosses. Increase the amount of enemies spawned by Beyond portals. And then the Beyond portal XP down here. And yeah. So you could probably force Beyond onto the map, and you have access to this one through this portal right here too. So I could probably remove all the shrines and then put on portals instead. It might slow down your speed, but even without the acceleration shrine and the gloom shrine, I was still running around 4 million, even up to 45 million XP an hour. I didn't run that for the last 20 maps because I didn't have any more. And then sextant wise, I already showed what I was running, but I was running Abyss and Magic Pack Size are the only two things that were absolutely really, really useful. Gloom Shrine is amazing. It just makes things go faster. And the other one is just whatever you have left over. None of those sextants are expensive. The only scarab you would need to do this is a Polished Abyss scarab. And then realistically, and I did this on some of them, you can just run literally sacrifice fragments for the rest. You only need the Polished Abyss. The other ones are useful. I like to run Rusted Divination, Rusted Reliquary, and Rusted Cartography. This took me 125 maps. I died twice, both times due to accidentally taking the node minus 50% physical damage reduction, which means if I miss an evasion, I basically get exploded. So the reason it took 125 and rather than 120 or less than that is because there were multiple maps where I forgot to do the Abyss craft or wasn't paying attention and ran out and the sextants ran off. So I'd say there's probably 10. So that took a bit longer, but this is 125 maps, a good number there. And this is the loot from it. Before I go over that, I will say I had already went through this entire tab once. And removed all the fractured bases, and I had only kept 2 of them, which are these 2 right here, which are perfect fire resistance tier 1 and tier 2 bases. So go through the loot now and pull up. So I have at this point completed sorting the loot. I did a POEStack, and I've recorded this a couple times. I didn't like my previous recordings, but I did allocate my last point. I had 10% damage over time multiplier if you killed recently, and I changed that out for this one right here, which is 6% damage over time multiplier, 18% brain damage, more evasion, more max life. I would like a corrupted version of this with corrupted blood immunity because I somehow still don't have that. But I've done fine without it. So I have it on the flask here, which is sufficient. So from there, I loaded up everything into POEStack. And total amount was 25 divine. And these were the stash tab here. And that was the deuce. And there is the dump stash tab at the time of doing this. The POEStack was not able to take into account the bases, fractured bases, nor was it able to take into account the abyssal jewels, which kind of was to be expected. With those two things being excluded, it came to a total of 25 divine worth of loot, which isn't too bad. Then, if I come back into the game, I have sorted all the loot. All the bases, everything else was moved, everything else was already calculated. So I moved all of my uniques into a pile, my leftover maps. I well over sustained my maps. I started with 72. I currently have 81. So, and I ran 125. So well over sustained. These are the only bases worth value. I have all of these down here being worth approximately 10 chaos. This is potentially worth more, but only because I enchanted it myself afterwards. I ran while POEStack was calculating everything, I ran a lab and then tossed the arc enchantment on that. I have no idea. I was finishing up an achievement, or a challenge for the league. These right here are potentially useful, but potentially negligible at the same time. I have them seen in here. I wouldn't count these towards anything. This one was worth about 25 to 50 chaos. I would hit this with a Scorched Fossil a bunch of times, hoping something cool comes out, then put on the market. This one right here is worth about 2 divine with that fractured spell suppression sitting on here, so I thought that was pretty cool. That leaves me with a total of 27 divine for the total loot. Come into this tab here, and I have all the Abyssal Eyes. I've already sorted and sold them, or vendored them, and these are the remaining ones that could be useful. We could probably estimate these to be worth a total of 10 chaos each at the very lowest amount. So we'll go ahead and do that 10 times. There's 96 of them. So what the heck? 10 times 96. There we go. 960 chaos. So if I divide that out by 242, the average price of a divine during the league, 3.96, basically 4 divine. So 27 plus 4, that is 31 divine total loot. And now we need to calculate how long it took and how much was the cost of the investment. So I don't know why I closed the calculator. Here we go. Calculator. Total investment. Each of the sextants I was running was worth 1 chaos per map. They were worth 4 to 5 each, roughly speaking. We're going to estimate at 4 chaos a map. That's what they were during the league, sometimes even 3. That being said, magic pack size, that is 1 chaos per map, plus Gloomshine, 1 chaos per map, plus additional packs of monsters, 1 chaos per map, and Abyss, 1 chaos per map. Polished Abyss Scarab, 2 chaos per map. Everything from there, I was just using leftover stuff, but just for the sake of total cost for what I invested, we'll go ahead and go with plus 1 more for the Rusted Reliquary, plus 2 more for the Rusted Divination, and plus 1 more for the Rusted Cartography for a total 10 chaos per map. I did not include the cost of the Abyss in there because I did not save any chaos mod or chaos orbs in my loot tabs. I just deposited it all and I basically broke even with it. I actually earned more because I used a bunch of it to buy all this stuff right here. So that being said, I have 10 chaos per map. I ran 125 maps, so 10 times 125, that's this right here, divided by, what is it, 2.42 again. We got to be consistent, 5.1. So we were at 30. We're going to round again. We're going to call that 5, and we're going to call that 31 because everything's kind of underestimated. 31 minus 5, 26. So we are at 26 divine worth of profit, and divide that by the 11 hours it took me to run this. And we can see that the 11 hours are coming from this right here. So 125 maps, about half of them have 3 abysses, half of them have 4 abysses. The ones with 4 abysses took 6 minutes. The ones with 5 abysses, with 3 abysses took 4.5 minutes. So halfway between 4.5 and 6 is 5.25. So 125 times 5.25 is this right here. Divide that by 60, 10.93 hours. We round that up to 11. So 26 divine divided by 11 hours, 2.36 divine per hour. And that is with a really not accurate estimate of these at all. I would have to check this during the league, not during right now, because we're at the end of the league and there's only a couple days left because everything's transferred into standard. So this is basically, as I said, I calculated 10 chaos a piece. It's basically negligible, and it's not even close to what some of these are worth. There's multiple in here that are worth in the divine range, which would up this considerably, but it's nearly impossible to calculate right now. That's the loot value. Conclusion. So I was asked in one of the previous videos for the leveling that I published was, is this profitable to run? Yeah, a little bit. It's not a lot of profit, but there is, you aren't losing money and you're gaining XP. So I think the investment into the level itself is part of the cost, where you see the total value kind of go down a little bit. But I mean, you gain level 100 as a result. I think I said I ran 125. I died twice, both times due to taking bad altar mods, and one I got stun locked and then hit while having the damage reduction mod. The first one, I just took the damage reduction mod, then died the moment afterwards from an altar. And then the third time I saw it, I canceled the map and then just said, screw it, I'm not finishing this because I'm probably going to die. So being sure, knowing what your build's capable of definitely helps you get through this in an effective and quick manner. I don't think 11 hours is really bad. If I hadn't died twice, it would be approximately 9 hours instead. But yeah, it's effective. I make money off of it. I don't have to pay somebody to run me through enriched Chayula or enriched five-way farming. I can handle both of those, but I can't do the crazy. Somebody was saying that they generate just an absurd amount of XP with five-way farming. I don't have the clear on this character to do this. This character is sacrifices some of the damage for tankiness, and that's perfectly fine. So I think this is a valid strategy. It's very useful for leveling. I'd like to try it with Beyond, and maybe that's what I'll try next league, depending on what character I make. So 2.36 divine per hour, 11 hours to level. Not too rippy. Pretty solid, straightforward process, and honestly relatively enjoyable. So I had fun doing it. You can invest as much or as little as you want into it. I don't know if the profit will go up or down much, as I only ran this to reach level 100. This is not a strategy that I would personally run for the entirety of the league. I would probably switch to it to maybe hit the last 2 levels, maybe 99 and 100. That way I can get through them quickly. But past that, I would probably, that's probably what I'd use this for. And there's nothing wrong with switching your strategies around to make use of it. So that will go ahead and be the conclusion for the video. I hope you find the information useful, and thank you for watching.